Hi, my name's Brian Mullen. I don't think I've ever actually said that. The Mullen Market. Either way, I've never actually formally introduced myself. My name is Brian Mullen. I'm 38 years old. I have a beautiful wife of 14 years, as well as two absolutely beautiful, wonderful boys, 10 and 13 right now. I've been woodworking for about 10 years. It's on the side. I don't do this full time or anything. It's a hobby at nighttime. I realized I think I just kind of started putting videos out. I was really scared to talk to the camera, so I didn't say anything. I just started putting videos out. So, hi, my name is Brian Mullen, and I'm here to try and entertain you. And who knows, you might learn a thing or two. I'm not one to really do much with the plastic pours and stuff, but it looks cool. A little bit of steel work. I do have a welder, so I will weld things here and there. I have a lathe I've been trying to teach myself how to use. But for the most part, I am a power tool woodworker, table saw, chop saw, bandsaw, joiner, drum sander. Those are the mains. So, hi, nice to meet you, and let's check out my shop. So when you walk in, this is what you see. So, starting here, here's a hat rack. Here is also where I keep my axe and hatchet and sledgehammer. The 8-foot and 4-foot levels. Here, I have just a small supply of some cherry and hard maple stock. And that's in front of a whiteboard that I use occasionally. That brings us to the first tool, which is my Laguna 1412 bandsaw. And I absolutely love this thing. As far as this saw goes, I absolutely love it. I love being able to change the fence. Using small blades, a 1/4-inch blade like I have on there right now, all the way up to a 3/4-inch blade, 3 TPI. Absolutely incredible machine. If you find one and you're in the market for a bandsaw, this, you can do about 13 1/8 inch tall pieces for resawing. I bought this with the intention to buy the Resaw King saw blade, but just never did. Yeah, great tool. Absolutely love it. Dust collection is set free with that plastic. Comes over, and on this machine it works very well. One thing I don't like or absolutely love is the adjustment for the guides is pretty tough to do. You gotta have skinny hands. If you had bigger hands than mine, it would be tough. So yeah, great tool. Love it. So here is a section where I keep basically just short pieces of cutoffs of good wood or usable wood. So I keep it separate by, plywoods, pine, this looks like maple, a little bit of mahogany, everything's over there. But it's just kind of like too big for the scrap and still pretty usable, so that's why it goes there. Next up is my Shenandoah wood stove. Absolutely love it. Goes through a cathedral mount, a double wall through my ceiling. Works fantastic. That's how I heat. I love it. So on my back wall, what I built is a bunch of shelving for storing 12-foot soft maple boards that I use for face frames, things like that. Basic construction, not hardwood that I need very much strength. A couple pieces of cherry back there too, more or less just lumber storage. Down here is more of a in-process type of working area for things that I'm working on, things that I'm going to be working on. Over here is a little bit of hardware. So I used to have giant containers of hardware, like this entire area here, this whole area. So basically from this miter saw over to this corner was all hardware cabinets. I think I had 90 of them. I had them on a French cleat wall, and it was just, everything was these little cubbies. And what I realized is that, yeah, it's nice to have hardware, but I don't use that much hardware with what I build. So by having all of this extra stuff, I just didn't use it and really didn't need most of it. When I need hardware, I just go buy a small box, not the huge box, a small box, and it works. So here is just what I have, just a small assortment of hardware. And over here is my dust collector. So this is just a Harbor Freight 2 horsepower dust collector that I've had for years. And let me tell you, it's stock. I haven't done any of those mods. I love it. It works fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I have a little leak in the roof there. That's why that looks like that. Basically, that comes down and around, and it lies off here to feed the miter saw. And then it comes up a small bit and lies off to then feed the bandsaw. And then this one is a run that goes and it feeds this auxiliary line, which I hook up my drum sander and my planer to. And I have to shut that off here in order to have that one running. But if I leave that open and I keep these closed, I am then going to my table saw, unless I close this blast gate and open that one, and then I go into my jointer. So it's like 200 bucks. I've had it for years. I've let it run for probably 3 days straight. It's just the best. I love it. I know there's better. I know when I spend 1,500 bucks, I can get a great one. But you know what? If you're on a budget and you're just getting started, I think it's 7 or 8 years and it's fantastic. On this wall is just where I start doing some storage. I'm not super organized. I don't have holders for everything. Just some basic 1/4 inch shank, router bits, trim router, all 1/2 inch shank, different router bit, a little planer action, a different fixed mount for a router. We have the plunge base, got a bunch of bench cookies, some jigs, some different auxiliary stuff, some stops for my T-track, for my miter saw. There's just my drills and the battery station. Here's some doweling jigs. This is a pretty good idea. The main drill bit attachments that I use the most, I kind of put right here. It's kind of a pretty good spot, pretty central, and allows me to grab them and put them back and always have somewhere that I know they're going to be. Calculator, obviously, and that brings us to our next power tool, which is our 12-inch Bauer dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now, the action is relatively smooth. But the thing is that it cuts well. I put the Diablo blades on it, and the fence is square. So what else could you ask for? It's like 320 bucks. Harbor Freight, baby. But tools, just what you'd expect. Screwdrivers, some chisels, squares, sharpening stuff, saw, hammers, cutting tools, parallel lamps, more hammers. And yeah, so this table I made out of a jig that I originally made for building a countertop for a lady, and it just seemed to work out really well to just be repurposed into that. So that's what I have going on over here. So the miter station, this really works well. It doesn't vibrate. It's just a really great way to hang up a lot of tools. I'm super duper impressed with it. I didn't know if I was gonna love it, and I really do. It traps most of the dust in there, even without running the vacuum. Just works out well. This area right here, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just pull the vacuum hose and I'll hook it up to my domino or my and I'll work right here or across here and be able to use it with the vacuum so the dust collection is working with it. So the next tool is my joiner, the Laguna JX8. It is ShearTech 2 technology, so it is a helical head with the carbide insert cutters. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would suggest it to anybody. And then we are back to Mr. Table Saw. So this is a Laguna Fusion 3. Bought this about 7 years ago. It works well. I have the bench dog table extension with the Rockler router lift. Right now I don't actually have a router in it. The only router I have is the one in the fixed base because my router crapped out on me the other day. So yeah, but the table saw is good. It's great. The only thing I don't like about it is the dust collection. It necks down to 2.5 inches inside there and all the way to right there. So it's terrible. It builds up dust and it doesn't do very well at all. This is a Craftsman drill press. Works just like a drill press should. It's got belts up top. That's fun. The drum sander, 1938. Love that. Great tool for small shops. Definitely buy it. It'll change everything you do. Under here we got like a little pancake compressor, a little lunchbox planer, nailers, finish, brad, stapler, spindle sander, and yeah, that's about it for out here. So this is where the dirty work gets done, and because I got really sick and tired of always having to clean the shop when I needed to finish something, I decided to build a paint booth so that I didn't have to worry about doing that anymore. Alright, so this is the second and third bay, and onto the first bay. So to step down, the door is open pretty wide. This door can shut off. Sleds, jigs, you know, different stuff like that. A little bit of polyacrylic over there to keep brooms and paint rollers and magnets, extra air hoses, the welding cart, some buffers. Here I have my foam board for my track saw, and here's where I have a little bit more wood storage for my red oak. And here is my paint booth. In my paint booth, I run an electromagnetic motor. Just kidding. I run an airless sprayer, a Platinum 3 from Fuji Spray. It stays in this enclosure, and I really enjoy it. I used to have a big compressor here, and I was running pneumatic guns, you know, like that one up there, and it was a nightmare. No, it worked fine. It's just a lot of overspray. Here is just some of the products that I've used, and here is the paint booth. So there's the fan, the filter, those are the phone sets, steel trash can, and the sprayer.
So, in a nutshell, that's my workshop. I didn't hit everything because I'm supposed to be going on vacation right now. So, I just wanted to do that real quick. Wanted the shop to be nice and clean as I fly by the seat of my pants. I hope that you want to come along and stick around. The best way to do that, I guess, is to subscribe. I will try to be putting at least a video out a month, and I don't want to tell you that I can. So I'm gonna say maybe, but I'm gonna work on just trying to do one a month. Just because I got kids, travel soccer, 2 different leagues. Just it's crazy. Work, life. My wife has her own business. Yeah, if this stuff interests you and you think that I am an interesting person, subscribe and stick around, and hopefully I put something out that tickles your fancy. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I kind of enjoyed going around and looking at my things. I like my things. They're not very expensive, not all of them. They're expensive, some, but there's better. And I make do just fine, you know, and you can too with even less. I started out, I didn't have a $2,800 table saw. My first 3 table saws were $100 each, and I got them all at pawn shops. One of them I got in the estate sale. If it's something that's interesting you a little bit, just buy a couple things and just start. But don't buy expensive right off the bat, because you might hate it. You might be like, nope, it's scary, I don't like it, you know, so. Hopefully this is cool. If not, sorry for wasting your time. But until next time, love, peace, and chicken grease.